Mr. Dolan?
I do have one more thing I'd like to talk about tonight. A little over 3 years ago, December 4th of 13 to be exact, I came to that meeting and brought up the issue about paying for medical coverage for the trustees. At that meeting, it was brought up, we asked how much it's costing the township, and Dave said right around $100,000 for medical for the township's paying for 6 people. Okay. I was told that the way it works is once somebody starts their term, whatever compensation that they're given at that time, that compensation, no matter what changes are made, that compensation holds true for the whole term for these people until their term is up. So the problem that the reason I'm here today to talk about this was because I learned by going in December for the 2 trustees at that time that were going to be put on was Mr. Leonard and Mr. Elias. We didn't really give a lot of talk, have a lot of time to talk since January. Once they started their term, they were stuck on that and can't make a change. So I want to get this conversation started early because they're both up again for trustee in the fall, whether they win or they don't win or whoever's trustee. I would like to see it stopped. We're spending 1/5 of our budget on health care in this town, and for a part-time job with a $9,000 salary, I don't think it deserves the kind of money that this township is paying for premiums for these trustees. Now, your fiscal officer provided me with some figures here. Well, first of all, I did send him a request for just what, since Mr. Leonard and Mr. Elias took office 3 years ago. I asked Mr. Finney how much these 2 trustees have cost the township since they took office up until right now. And he sent me back, says for the period of January 1st, 2014 through February 28th, 2017, Mr. Leonard cost the township $10,456.54. Mr. Elias, the township paid 0 for Mr. Elias. So my question is, why would one trustee think he's worth $10,000 more? Let me go to right now. For currently this year, if these payments are made through the whole year for Mr. Sheehan, his policy is going to cost the township just for 1 year $21,051.
How much do you think they're worth?
Well, how much do I think they're worth?
How much do you think the service of the trustees?
Well, they get a salary of $9,000. Okay. Now,
plus benefits, that should be considered part of the compensation.
Okay, that's pretty good for a part-time job. I'd like to get one of those. But
Run for trustee?
Yeah.
well, you know what? If I did, I wouldn't take it. But
You too could have those free benefits.
well, I'm just saying it's costing a lot of money.
I got a business, my health insurance, do the business. $3,450 a friggin' month. Because
Well,
I have to pay 100% of it.
Well, we're
Do
paying,
you realize what that comes out to a year?
well, it's big money.
$41,000?
Well,
I want their bill.
it's,
I'll pay them.
well, they do pay 10%. They do pay 10%,
I pay
so
100%.
Well-
I tell you, $3,500 a month is stupid.
we're down,
What
we
it's
got
up
it
to.
down at the townships. I would, after you take the 10% off, I think the township's paying 113,000 for the 6 people.
So I'm paying $4.72 an hour.
I'm just saying, I'd like to have everybody look at this
Other
and see if we
townships
can come up with a
trustees
different
do
policy.
it Because they're trying to,
Order, Mr. Laffer.
not to make money.
Well, they're not making money.
All right, Mr. Dolan, you had a question or comment?
I'd like to, I just would like to see if we could maybe look into getting a different type of policy, one that's not as good, or come up with some other kind of answers to fix this problem between now and November, before the next trustees take office. We got a lot of time to figure it out. I just can't see spending this kind of money. And by the way, I think it's a pretty, what did you say, it was a Cadillac policy?
That's a premium policy,
It's premium policy, so
but it has a 6,000.
I just want to throw that out there ahead of time. We got all summer to talk about this and get it straightened out.
Is it $50 deductible?
Oh, it's zero deductible.
2,000.
Zero.
It's 3,000.
I got it right here. You can look.
It's $3,000 deductible with reimbursement. With reimbursement. With reimbursement, isn't it? That's what they take it to make it cheaper.
Let's let Mr. Finney explain it, the policy. Do you have a copy of that here?
I didn't bring one with me.
Well, here, you can.
May I borrow it? Thank you. We have our policy for individual is a $3,180 deductible, with which we have a health reimbursement agreement that will pay it up to $2,500. And then after that point, there's no deductible, there's no co-pays. It's just a deductible policy.
But if you do not spend that deductible, you don't get reimbursed $2,500.
Right.
If you only went to the doctor and spent $100 against it, you get reimbursed $100.
Every year,
Yeah, therefore you
Township has had some
save the
advantage.
$2,000 is what you say.
thanks, Sam.
That's what I thought it was.
And I had another question. If Mr. Leonard's on Medicare and they take out of your Social Security, the Medicare, do we reimburse him for that? No, we don't, because we did it before for another trustee
Yeah, no, that's
years
not
ago.
happening.
Okay.
Let's clarify, David. What's out of pocket for the township, for 2 of the trustees, is $23,000 a year. I don't care what the benefits are. What it costs these people to have that insurance is enough to pay for most of that truck that we can't afford. Is that correct?
Okay, now, what individuals were you talking?
Leonard and Sion. One's 19,000, the other one's 4,000, there's 3,000 something.
No,
That's what we pay out. per year.
This year for Joe is
He's got the fact.
$3,651 and he pays 10% of that, so.
Well, it's simple to compare the figures and see which one's higher.
Mr. Sheehan, do you get access to buy your insurance through where you work?
Why is that important?
Well, you know, we've had other trustees, we've
Mr.
had
Baldwin
other,
elected to this position, and that's part of the compensation package.
okay, but we've had other trustees that took their medical through where their job was
Sure.
and saved the township the money. My thought on that is, you're here, you got elected to help the community, and if that's a big one, $20-some thousand.
Not helping the community?
Well, when you're taking money like that where you could get maybe from work where it wouldn't be costing the township that kind of money, like Mr. Elias doesn't take it, he's eligible to take it,
This is
That's-
his job also. He's at his job now. And you say $9,000 doesn't deserve a $20,000 benefit. I'm saying that the three trustees are doing a $50,000 job each and donating the rest.
well, everybody has their way of looking at it.
Okay, that's my.
As a taxpayer, you know, when I write that check to pay the taxes, it's kind of,
I'm in the same-
nobody's
I'm in the
over there
same
paying
boat as
mine.
taxpayer.
Welfare taxes. You know what, Dan? I dealt with some figures here the other day, and I'm not sure exactly how accurate I am, but I looked at our township budget. I looked at approximately what maybe your taxes are for your property taxes, and what I'm coming up with all the percentage of involved, I'm costing you about $1.75 to $2 a year. You know, if you want it, I'll reimburse you if you'd like, but that's where it's at. Now, this is part of a deal. This is a part-time job with full-time expectations. I spent almost all day this morning on the phone, all township business. The other day I was at the sheriff's office, made calls. I make copies. I don't ask for reimbursement for my copies. We do a lot for this township. I think I've earned my keep up here. You can agree, you can disagree. That's your prerogative. But we're on this job. It's not just 2 meetings a month. It goes on and on. Believe me, I've been in this for my 8th year. And I've learned an awful lot. There's a lot more to learn. I put my time, and I think I've earned my keep.
Well, you know what, back at that meeting that I mentioned, Mr. Montata asked you, what do you think about just dropping the coverage on trustees, period, Joe? And your response was, quote, I think I'd be looking for another job. Well, for what we're paying for trustees' health care, if that's the reason you want to be a trustee because you get free health care, I think that's not the reason why you should run for
Do
the
you think
office.
that's why I'm here, Dan?
I don't know. You tell me.
That's exactly right.
You
don't
tell
know,
me.
Dan. You
Don't
don't
you
know a lot.
usually take a job for the benefits and
Yeah.
for
Exactly.
compensation?
Exactly.
Nobody
It's part
takes
of
a
the
job
package.
and not make money and be broke.
Yeah.
Unless you live in Nelson where you got to find any farmland and a bed and breakfast.
Well, you want to give somebody a tax, you want to
If you
give,
vote for a new levy, the taxes your pay will go to Nelson.
well, if
Right now,
you want to give a
it's-
tax abatement, give a tax abatement to the residents of Nelson Township by giving up
You're
the
in,
medical.
you know what? You're in that tax abatement zone right now.
Well,
You
I
have been
don't
for
care, I
years.
don't need no tax abatement, I don't mind paying my
It won't
taxes.
apply to you anyway. It's only gonna be the people that paid for this guy to come and talk to us.
I don't mind paying my taxes.
You don't
That's
pay
totally wrong.
taxes.